Hi, I'm Jon.
And I'm Eli.
And you're watching Screen Obscura.
And today we are back with an episode of Screen Obscura to talk about a new film by Kirill Sokolov called
They Will Kill You. It's starring Zazie Beetz, Tom Felton, Heather Graham, and Patricia Arquette. It's got a decent cast. We haven't seen some of them in a while. I only really seen Zazie Beetz in Deadpool and Joker, I guess.
She played Joker?
Yeah, remember?
Oh, she was the girl
Yeah.
that we wanted. Before we begin, if our set looks like shit, we're in the middle of a move. So
It's gonna look like this for a while.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
So They Will Kill You. We saw the trailer for this movie a few times earlier this year when we saw various horror movies. You know, we didn't expect too much out of it. I thought it looked like a fun little thrill ride or like a horror comedy sort of deal. It reminded me a lot of like Kill Bill or something like almost satirical. So I would say that I was like intrigued to see it. I wasn't like super excited or anything, but I did want to go see it. What did you think when you saw the trailer?
I had a bit of a different feel. I feel like when I was watching the trailer, it seemed very confusing to me. I didn't really understand what the hell was happening. Granted, that's probably the point of the whole thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know whether I should take it as a joke or take it as like a female John Wick or take it as, I didn't know what to take it as. I was kind of just really confused and I was like, can Undertone start playing? Considering like a relatively big cast, I feel like it wasn't something that was, I mean, outside of like movie theater promos because we go to the movies every fucking weekend.
Yeah.
It wasn't something that like people were talking about.
Yeah, it was not heavily marketed at all.
No.
But I saw Tom Felton and I was like, I'm in. If I can't go see you on Broadway, I'm gonna go see you in the theaters.
Yeah, I stopped caring to see him in 2011.
So the plot of this movie, without spoiling anything, is about Zazie Beetz's character, Asia Reeves, who is, we'll say, trapped in this hotel-like complex, and she has to fight her way out. It's a very video gamey, almost like Dread 3D feeling to it, and you feel that right from the get-go, and it doesn't let up the entire movie. It's a very fast-paced movie that has just a lot of action, a lot of blood, a lot of gore, over-the-top gore, and it's very reminiscent of Kill Bill. Like even the blood squirting out of like a decapitated head and neck.
Yeah, I got a lot of Robert Rodriguez, Quentin Tarantino Grindhouse from it, which
Yes.
I love. I will always love the Grindhouse.
The fast punchy zooms, the whip pans, and like the like some speed up shots. It was cool.
Yeah, who doesn't love a punch and a whip?
Right. Yeah.
I do agree. It was a really fun ride. It was really campy. It was very creative, and it was funny. Granted, kind of circling back to how I felt when the trailer was coming out, and I didn't really know how to feel. I didn't know if it was going for a more comedic approach at the time. I didn't know if it was going to be more action, full focused, and to be taken a little bit more seriously. I didn't know if they were going to try to find a balance between the two. Kind of going into it kind of blind, I would say. No, it did catch me off guard in the sense that it was a lot more than what was shown in the trailer. And the trailer shows a lot. Like, it shows a lot. But it does not show as much as you would assume it would.
The cinematography was very stylistic. It reminded me a lot of Edgar Wright. I got some Scott Pilgrim feels from this movie as well. Yeah. And I really love Scott Pilgrim, so it fit right in with me. And there was some very funny sequences with like what they do with body parts and stuff, without spoiling too much. It was really like, I've never seen that before kind of deal. And there is a lot, I do think a lot of the stunt action is good. I think they were just holding back a little bit here and there because this is a very low budget movie. It's only $20 million budget. But with that $20 million, I think they did actually fucking fantastic. I'm thoroughly impressed with the film. It's not anything spectacular.
No.
But it's a great, this is not my official rating, but it's one of those comfortable, fun, 7 out of 10 good kind of movies. And those are rare. And sometimes that's just what I want to watch. I just want to watch a mindless, fun, fuck around, laugh, you know, one of those kind of movies. And that's exactly what it was.
Mindless was definitely the word I was thinking of when it comes to this film. Like, it is a lot, and believe me, it is a lot. There's a lot being presented to you. It's very violent and gory, which I like. It's 18A here in Ontario.
Thank God.
So finally, some fucking blood and some tits, love. But it was mature, it was creative, it was fun, it was thrilling, it was action-packed. It was the whole package. It was even scary, had horror elements to it. It really was like a full really well-rounded film, which is something that is so rare to find. And I think maybe the reason why I'm being so generous with it as well is because it caught me so off guard. It wasn't at all what I thought it was going to be, which is great. I love films like that. That's why I go for the film experience in a theater. I want to see how it's going to be presented and how people are going to take it in.
There's only a few people in our theater. It was maybe 10 people in total.
Well, if you watch our last film review for Undertone, you will know exactly what our shit theater experience was like. So I will always have a poor taste in my mouth, and I probably have fucking PTSD because of that.
Literally.
But yeah, no, it was nice having just no one there.
Yeah.
And the people that were there were just quiet. They probably were nonverbal.
And the people that were verbal in like the trailer segment fucking laughed, thank God. And they had a 5-year-old kid at this fucking...
Yeah, they brought a child, and the mom's like, don't look at the screen. It's like the Mummy trailer.
Yeah, and then they walked out. Fucking stupid.
I will say transparently, it is kind of hard to dissect this film and talk too much about it without going into spoilers. As typical Screen Obscura fashion, before we go into spoilers, we're going to give ourselves a little 5 out of 5 rating. Wait, what? No, that's what I meant. Rating out of 5 is what I meant to say.
I'll give it... Man, it was arguably one of the more enjoyable movies we've seen this year. 3.75. Nearly a 4. Because it's a really, again, one of those more mindless, fun movies. Good to put on in the background even. And it kind of rewards you for paying attention towards the end. It's not a horrible ending. I actually really liked it. I was thoroughly entertained throughout. Doesn't do anything super, cinematic or artsy, but it's very stylized. And sometimes that's just what I want.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah.
3.75.
Yeah.
What did you give it?
My rating is a little bit lower. I was kind of on...
Fuck you.
I was kind of on the fence. I know that the film was, as a package deal, all in good fun, which is also why I didn't take it too seriously, but also as someone who just can be very analytical when it comes to films in my review, because I'm really offensive and offended all the time. I give this film a 3.5.
Okay.
I was on the fence, but 3.25, 3.5. The reason why I will kind of explain a little bit more in the spoiler section, but as a generalized face value, I do think that this is a good film for the phrase beating a dead horse a little bit. But I can't explain that without going into spoilers. So 3, 2, 1, spoilers.
Oh, okay. What do you mean by beating a dead horse?
To explain that, we kind of need to explain the plot of the film first, and then I can circle back to it.
Fine.
The plot of the film kind of starts off with the idea, the reason why she's at this hotel is because she is looking for her sister, like Chris Redfield. She's looking for her sister. And basically it's exposed kind of really early into the film. It's like the first scene of the movie is that her sister and herself have they come from an abusive family with their father.
It's a Sucker Punch intro.
Basically the intro to Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch is literally the intro to this film. So circling back, the reason why she's at this hotel is because she's actually looking for her sister, who got a job at this hotel, and she found out because she hired a PI basically to stalk her sister for 10 years while she was in jail for attempting to murder her father.
Right.
Stepfather or father? Real father.
I believe, well, it wasn't perfectly clear.
Oh, fuck him and his earrings. On that note, going into the hotel, she meets this group of, I think they're rich. Are they rich?
Yes.
Rich, or are they just elite in the hotel?
They're the elites.
Okay.
But they're rich. They're always talked about as the rich.
So it goes from Sucker Punch to Eyes Wide Shut. And it's not really exposed exactly yet what's going on, but long story short, pretty fast it's exposed that they're going to use her as a sacrifice. Why her? That's explained later on.
It's a satanic cult, the building. The whole building is a reflection of the 9 circles of hell or whatever, and I thought that was really cool. But yeah, so she's a sacrifice. So she's, you can, they're Patricia Arquette is the main. She was the one who established the building.
Like the directress of the building.
Yeah, and her and her husband. So they have Zazie Beetz stay in a certain room, and then Tom Felton, Heather Graham, and everyone else comes to kill her. But she's smart enough to know that this is not a safe space. So so she stores her katana, her double barrel shotgun, and everything else that she has, her fucking underwear. She's decapitating them and shit and cutting them, dismembering them. And I'm like,
yeah.
This is the section that was shown in the trailer.
Yeah, so literally the trailer, kind of what he was saying earlier, the trailer is the first like 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is also why my rating was a little bit lower. It's like we're just really starting. Like this is just how it starts.
Yeah.
Really how it starts. Sucker Punch backstory for 2 minutes, immediately Kill Bill.
Yep. Well, yeah, it's a breakneck pace, sort of like changing tones, because there is a bit of horror in it, and it's like comedy. It kind of like balances the comedy and the horror, and weirdly kind of like Evil Dead 2. Because and we haven't really given our thoughts of the Evil Dead series. I love the Evil Dead series as a whole, but I think Evil Dead 2 is both of our collectively least liked one, even though everyone seems to love it. But it's because of the balance of the horror and the comedy in it, we felt was unbalanced. Some people might feel this way about this movie. I did not feel this way, but if you feel that way, that's that's your opinion. So you're allowed to have it.
And like and fucking subscribe for more.
Yeah, so after she decapitates everyone, or dismembers them, she leaves the room like she's triumphed, she's won. She's now looking for her sister, Patricia Arquette, standing in the hall like a creep. And then they have an exchange, basically saying, oh, I'm here for my sister. Patricia Arquette's like, I don't think so, honey. And then Tom Felton walks out with his head in his hands, and the body's just there. And turns out they're immortal. And I was like, oh. Okay, this is interesting. So again, very video game design. She's on the first floor right now. I figured, okay, she's got to ascend the tower. That's exactly what the premise is of the movie. What docks the movie down a few points for me is that the fact that it's only an hour and a half, which in a sense is good, but they skip, like fucking 6 floors or something? So they go to 1, 2, 3, and then they jump up to 8. So they skip 5 floors. Man, it would have been cool to see all those 5 floors, and or at least most of them, like fleshed out. And I think it would have been really interesting to have it like a 9 circles of hell kind of deal. And that's what it's trying to reflect. I think that's just what would have notched it up just a bit more, like an extra half hour, just like even like a montage of her going through all the floors. Because eventually in the movie, everybody converges on her and everyone goes after her. But there's only really one big fight sequence. After they show everybody looking for her in the entire building, and it just feels a little like, that's it? Kind of, right? Yeah. That's the only reason why I wouldn't give it higher ratings. It's just a little, that was a little odd. But then I saw the budget of the movie and I was like, okay, I can forgive it. It did really well with the budget that it had. Yeah,
it definitely has pacing errors, and it definitely has holes within the story. Not necessarily plot holes, but just holes in the sense of like, we could have established a better foundation of like a straighter narrative, and instead it was kind of like, I felt like a couple pages in that book were crinkled. Like it would go back into the past a couple times. Yeah. It did break the pace. I agree. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say like films should be in chronological order, but they should be kind of told in a way that makes more sense and is a little bit more fitting. I didn't mind the way that they cut to the backstories. That wasn't an issue. I just found that kind of like what you said, it was like when we're in the present, I felt that it was kind of chopped. But then going back, it was like it gave you enough to understand how they got in the situation. Right. But while they're in the situation, it's like they were like, okay, we have $4 left. Let's literally. Make it quick. And circling back to what I was saying about kind of beating the dead horse, kind of like what John just said, it's like they're all actually immortal. And all she does is kill them over and over and over. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, it's comedic and it's funny and it's great action. It's kick-ass action. But how many times can I see Heather Graham's head get blown off?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then her eyeball rolling through the vents.
Yeah.
For 40 minutes.
Which is funny, but it's like, for example, like there's a scene where like her eyeball, like you just said, her eyeball flies out of her head, and her eyeball, as a comedic tone, is rolling around behind Zazie Beetz's character. Stalking her within the hotel, but obviously it's an eye, it can't do anything. So it's like, oh, we're laughing because it's like, oh, it's following her. That shit went on for like 10 minutes. And I was like, okay, it gets to a point where like, I see her fucking eye and we're not whispering, turn it off.
Yeah, the optic nerve extending and then to the shaft and then it bounces up the shaft.
That was funny.
That was fucking crazy. You don't see shit like that in a lot of movies these days. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, this like feels like it kind of feels like a Sam Raimi.
I was thinking that too. It definitely had Sam Raimi elements, and I kind of got sent help like that. Those 4 minutes of like really campy comedic violence that was happening in Sent Help near the end like that's what it reminded me of, but it was like for an hour and a half in this film.
Yeah, exactly. So she makes her way up, all the way up to the 8th floor. She kills them a few times. There's some great action sequences in between. I wish there was a few more, but it's okay. I loved it. I really liked it. It was just fun. It was fun. It was a fun time. They said they weren't afraid, so they just go balls to the wall crazy. Yeah, I have to give it compliments for that.
Yeah, and I like this film because I'm not offending anyone or making personal attacks. Sorry. All in all, if you want to know what happened to Vivica A. Fox's daughter from Kill Bill and where she is now, watch this movie.
I'm Jon.
And I'm Eli.
And you're watching Screen Obscura.
And yep.